Hi, everyone. It's Jason McCoy, your colleague in social sciences. Hope all of you are doing well and keeping safe. I miss you all. Can't wait for everyone to get back on campus together, hopefully sooner than later. Thomas, or Mr. Massey, asked if I would create a relatively short directional video or tutorial on how to create a Screencastify recording using Screencastify. Originally, when I agreed to do this, I thought it would take me like 5 minutes to create. Boy, did I underestimate the amount of time it would take. Now, I don't want to scare any of you. It's relatively easy and simple to use Screencastify to create on-screen videos. It's just that to create how to use Screencastify using Screencastify, well, that's a little bit of a wormhole. And that's for me to worry about, not you. So it's a little more time consuming if you're doing something like that, but here goes nothing. First, what is Screencastify? It's a free Google Chrome extension that lives in your browser. When activated, it can be used to record your screen, your face, your voice, and more. In addition to recording your computer screen, you can also do simple edits, as well as share your recordings via email, Blackboard announcements, via embedded code, YouTube, Google Classroom, and much, much more. In this tutorial, I hope to do a couple of things. First, I want to show you how to get Screencastify on your computer, or at least check to see if you have it on your computer. Next, I want to show you how to activate Screencastify for recording purposes. Then, I want to show you the most important hotkeys or quick keys for managing your workflow. And hopefully, by learning these three things, you'll be equipped with all that you need to get started. Now, if you like this video and want me to do another one that's a little more advanced, I would be happy. I think the learning curve is so quick that most of you will be ready to edit and upload files to YouTube before you know it. Again, if any of you guys want one-on-one training, or you'd like me to do another department level video on editing and or uploading your Screencastify videos to YouTube, feel free to reach out to me directly or ask Mr. Massey and he can bribe me. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is find out whether or not we have Screencastify on our computers. Now, if you notice in the top right-hand corner, where just to the right of my browser window, I have a little arrow here. When I mouse over, it says Screencastify. That tells me that I have it as a Google browser extension on my computer, and I'm in the office right now. Now, let's suppose that you don't have it. What would you do? You can simply go to www.screencastify.com and download it directly to your browser. Again, I'm not able to do that because it tells me that it's already installed on my office computer. I'm pretty sure that you will need to get administrative privileges if you are trying to download this on a computer in a classroom. However, if you're downloading it on a computer in your office, you may be able to put this extension on without the help of computer services. Go ahead and give it a try. If you're doing it at home, well, you are the administrator on your home computer, so you should be able to do it with no problem. Now let's go back and officially start the tutorial. Let's assume that now you have the Screencastify icon in the top right of your screen. In the top right of your screen. In other words, you can see a camera or a red arrow with the camera inside it. This lets you know you have that browser extension. Once you're ready to activate a recording, know that you can do this in one of two ways. The first way is using your keyboard and simply holding down Control and A at the same time. It doesn't have to be capitalized, by the way. The second way is to do it more directly by going to that icon in the top right-hand corner of your browser window and clicking the arrow with the camera inside. In either case, it's going to bring a little window up, and in all likelihood, desktop will be activated. If desktop is not activated, I would recommend going ahead and activating desktop. At this point, you can also activate and or check whether or not your microphone is working, and of course, check whether or not your webcam is working. I don't do a lot of Screencastifys with webcams, so I typically leave that off, and I just make sure that my microphone is working. Then when you're ready, you go ahead and click the record button. Once you hit record, you're going to get this screen. This screen will give you another choice. Would you like to record your entire desktop screen? Or would you like to record just a particular application window? I find that the best practice is clicking your entire screen. I'm sure there are some applications for choosing a particular window, but for my purposes, I've always used your entire screen. After you hit your entire screen, you're going to want to come down and click Share. At the moment you click Share, you will get an on-screen countdown clock. I believe it's about 3 seconds. This will prepare you. This will get you ready to start recording. Once you do that, and the clock goes to 0, you now will be recording. And since I select desktop, everything that I can see on my desktop at any given time will be recording. You know that you're recording because down in the bottom of your screen, you will see a little window right here that says Screencastify. Screen video recorder is sharing your screen. Now, it's actually not sharing it with anyone. It's just recording it. You will share your video later. Over in the left-hand side of the screen, you may see a series of icons. These are giving you access to various tools that you may or may not want to use as you're working on your video. I do not believe that either of these windows will necessarily record while you are doing this video. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do. Now, one way to get around all of these on-screen tools, using the on-screen tools, is to think about learning and using your quick keys or your shortcuts. These tools here can be activated or toggled on and off by using a series of quick keys. This is a reference guide to the tools you are most likely to use throughout a recording. Again, you don't have to use any of these, but as you become more and more advanced, as your videos become more and more sophisticated, as you increase the production value of your videos, you are probably going to want to use some of these tools, especially the show hide focus tool. I play around with this a lot, and it is an incredibly powerful tool. I think that's the tool that Mr. Massey liked most when I showed him one of my videos. Now, I simply have a printout of this that I stick on my desk, and honestly, I've never memorized all these. I just keep looking down anytime I need to use one. Finally, some other important shortcuts. Instead of scrambling around trying to activate and record and pause and resume your recordings using your mouse and moving all around on your screen, you can learn to use quick keys for those kinds of things as well. So in addition to quick keys or hotkeys to activate tools, you can also use these quick keys or hotkeys to activate more important things, such as activating a recording. As I mentioned earlier in this tutorial, Control S can do that directly. Control A would then start the recording. It would start that countdown clock. You could also hit Control A again to toggle the recording to stop. I rarely hit Control A in the middle of my recording. Instead, I usually hit Control X. That will simply pause my recording so that I can gather my thoughts, get myself together, and then I can toggle back on that same recording by hitting Control X again. You see, if you hit Control A at any point during your recording is going to stop and it's going to finish, and it's not going to allow you to go back into that same recording. Finally, Control Z will allow you to ensure that you are recording the current tab you happen to be in. The current tab you happen to be in. Now, I think by selecting your desktop, you never really have to worry about selecting the current tab you're in, because the assumption is the current tab you're in will be displayed on your desktop. You'd be viewing the current tab you're in. So Screencastify knows to record whatever's on your desktop at any given time. I believe Control Z would be much more important if you had selected an application to record instead of your entire desktop. And finally, one that I like to use a lot is the Show Hide Focus tool. So that tool I was telling you about back in the other slide, Show Hide Focus tool, Alt F, I can toggle that tool off and on by hitting Alt F. And that is a really cool tool because it gives you some nice emphasis when you're pointing to things on the screen. Okay, that's all I've got for now. I hope this was instructive, and I'll talk to you and or see most of you very soon. Take care.